Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are continuing with the chair today. Last time I was using the angle grinder to clean up all of the cast marks, places like this. So we will just finish off today making all of these components nice. Also have a go at some of these fixings and then hopefully have a go at painting everything. So without further ado, doggo's comfortable. Like and subscribe, let's get going. Okay, I am happy now with how all of these metal components are cleaned up. I have used the angle grinder some more and given everything a good wire brushing to remove as much paint and rust and dust as I can. This piece requires the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws, and the seat of the chair is held together with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doubled 12 nuts and bolts. Now I was right in that I have lost 1 screw, but the remaining 7 are serviceable, so we just need to find 1 replacement. And while we have 10 nuts and bolts that are fine to be used again after they've been painted, 2 of them are going to need to be replaced. This looks like a pretty good replacement for the screw, and these bolts aren't too dissimilar to the ones that we need to replace of these. So my next step is to get all of those cleaned up, ready for paint as well. Okay, I have ground off all 92 faces of all the nuts, and yes, I did count each one. It was very tedious, just as was the 12 heads of the bolts. Let me show you one of them. There we go, if it focuses. All nice and fresh metal. Not forgetting the 8 screws are also now nice and clean, as well as the shiny new one, of course. I did lose patience with the washers, but I'm sure the paint will stick just fine. So we're now going to get some paint on everything. Apologies, by the way, as well for my head wound. Sergeant will know what I'm on about when I say that I headbutted a gas bottle cage and it wasn't very pleasant. So please do ignore that. In terms of paint for this project, I've got some black rattle can Hammerite. And it says that you don't need to prime or undercoat, but I have got some primer anyway. I think we'll just put it on as an added layer of protection as well. I think this says it can go right onto rust and no need to remove that from what you're painting. But again, I've done it just as a precaution because I want this chair to be absolutely mint. That's why I've gone to the trouble of painting all of the nuts and bolts and the screws as well. So yes, we've got primer and black, which we're gonna spray everything with. Okay, I'd rather not get paint absolutely everywhere inside the shed, whereas outside is going to not only have that much more ventilation, but you know, I'm not going to get hopefully as much paint everywhere. So I've hung everything up from this post here, all the little nuts all spaced out, all my belt fed machine gun bolts there, and the 3 main metal components. All I've got to do separately is the washers, but I've just not got space, and it's going to be much the same as everything else. So I'll just paint those off camera. So I'm going to get the primer out, give everything a quick splash of paint, hang it up inside, and then probably wrap the video up there. Right then folks, I know you can see this one here, but all behind you is all the rest of the components all hung up to dry, so that's very good. The primer went on great. I think I've used up most of that tin, but there's certainly enough left to do at least another coat, you know, just to touch up little bits before we move on to the black. And that will happen in the next episode, along with drilling, varnishing and sanding the pieces of wood to finish the chair off. So be sure to tune in for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.